A local attorney is facing a civil lawsuit accusing him of sexually assaulting a jail inmate last month.
One of East Alabama's oldest manufacturing plants has shut down unexpectedly, and Jacksonville police helped put a stop to a shoplifting ring that had hit stores in several states.
Rain chances on the increase across East Alabama for the next several days. We'll have the complete forecast details coming up.
Coming up in sports, we continue previewing the White Plains Football Jamboree this Friday. Also, the Weaver Bearcats will go on the road for a jamboree this Friday. We'll talk more about them as EAN Local News starts now.
This segment of EAN Local News is brought to you by Oxford Lumber. Come visit any of our locations in Oxford, Jacksonville, Talladega, and Roanoke.
Hello, we're glad you could join us. I'm Katie Edwards.
And I'm Mike Stedham.
Anniston attorney Doug G. is being sued by a Calhoun County woman who claims he sexually assaulted her last month while she was an inmate in the county jail. In a civil lawsuit filed late Tuesday afternoon, the 29-year-old woman also accuses G of extortion, infliction of emotional distress, battery, negligence, false imprisonment, and wantonness. The suit names G's law firm and his partners as co-defendants. According to the plaintiff, G met with her on July 12th in a visiting area of the jail as an appointed public defender. She is facing 4 counts of obstructing justice in Calhoun County, and she also has drug, theft, and promoting prison contraband charges in St. Clair County. The woman claims that G told her he was friends with the judge and assistant district attorney assigned to her cases and could get her a better deal than the one being made by her current attorney. She says G offered to do this if she hired him for $2,500 and would agree to be his sex slave when she got out of jail. 5 days later, G met with the woman again at the jail, and this time she alleges he sexually assaulted her while she was handcuffed and shackled. The inmate says the assault was interrupted by a jailer who took her out of the room and locked G inside.
The lawsuit against G was filed by Hoover attorney Anthony Coleman, who says his client had to seek counseling as a result of severe emotional distress. The suit demands that the case be tried before a jury and asks for an unspecified monetary compensation. Following the alleged assault, presiding Judge Shannon Page issued an administrative order removing G from the 7th Circuit's indigent defense lawyer list. 4 local judges have already recused themselves from hearing any cases involving G. 2 weeks ago, Calhoun County Sheriff Matthew Wade said that his office and the state attorney general were investigating a case involving a male attorney and a female inmate, but he did not name either party. Doug G. has been practicing law in Anniston since 1975, and he served in the state legislature from 1990 until 1998.
When we get back, local businesses are organizing a job fair for a group of workers laid off this week.
For over 60 years, Oxford Lumber has been servicing our area, and our customer service has always been our main focus. Our customer service is what sets us apart from anyone else. From the moment you enter, our highly trained staff will treat you like family.
To enthusiastically provide total customer satisfaction within a positive and self-fulfilling employee relations environment. Visit us at any of our 4 locations or at oxfordlumber.com.
This segment of EAN Local News is brought to you by WM Grocery, located in Heflin, Wadowee, Roanoke, and in Piedmont.
Lee Brass Company, which opened its Anniston foundry in 1917, closed down this week, apparently costing the local economy 128 jobs. The Anniston Star reports that workers were notified to remove their personal possessions from the plant in Golden Springs on Tuesday. Founded in 1917 by Arthur and Alfred Lee, Lee Brass manufactured plumbing fittings, brass and copper ingots, and brass and copper castings. The company was bought out 2 years ago by Fidelis Holdings, a real estate investment and management company headquartered in Michigan. weekend. Meanwhile, the Calhoun County Economic Development Council and East Alabama Works announced this afternoon that they're organizing a special job fair for the former Lee Brass employees. This is to provide those workers with a chance to connect with a variety of employers who are seeking to fill positions that align with those skills and expertise. Officials with both organizations say they want to ensure that workers have access to opportunities that will support their transition into new roles. More details on the job fair will be announced soon.
2 Jacksonville police officers were honored this week for their part in stopping a 2-year crime spree that had stolen more than $113,000 worth of merchandise from Walmart stores in several states. Sergeant Rebecca Deckard and Officer Clifton Edwards responded to a theft report at the Jacksonville Walmart on July the 9th and realized during their discussions with the store's loss prevention team that it wasn't a typical case of shoplifting. Using video and photographic evidence, the officers were able to identify the suspects, get a license plate number, and send that information to the investigative division of the Jacksonville Police Department. From there, dispatcher Caitlin Pritchett, Sergeant Matthew Johnson, and analyst Susan Tidwell sent the information out to local agencies. About 25 minutes later, the suspects were arrested by Attala police on their way out of the area. The next day, investigator Anthony Straughter worked with the FBI personnel to identify the suspects and create a case that police say will make a major impact. The members of the Jacksonville Police Department received Outstanding Service Awards at this week's City Council meeting for their work in that case.
When we return, pet owners are invited to protect their furry friends this weekend.
Spring into freshness at WM. Celebrate the season with our bountiful selection of farm fresh produce. From juicy berries to crisp greens, taste the flavors of spring at WM. Visit us today and let the freshness bloom in every bite. This segment of EAN Local News is brought to you by Waldrop Manufacturing, metal buildings made right here in Calhoun County.
The animal advocates for Calhoun County are holding a free event this weekend at Alexandria Community Center Park. The first 400 pet owners will receive a free microchip to help find their pets if they get lost. The event will be held from 8 a.m. until noon on Saturday.
Now, I don't know what the weather will be like on Saturday for that chip event, but I guarantee you, if your animal gets lost and isn't wearing a chip, it will be a dark and stormy night.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
No question.
But I'm not sure there are going to be any stormy nights in our future.
Not in the future, but when the animal goes missing is what I'm saying.
That'll definitely be the case.
Yes.
John Holder is joining us now in the EAN Weather Center to tell us if there's any dark and stormy nights ahead. John?
Mike and Katie, no stormy nights ahead per se, but maybe some stormy afternoons ahead. We'll have the complete weather forecast for all of East Alabama next.
For metal buildings in Alabama and the Southeast, Waldrop Manufacturing is your one-stop source. A Waldrop metal building provides the coverage and protection your investments need. They specialize in carports, RV covers, portable buildings, and storage buildings. Stop paying rent for storage. With Waldrop's price per foot, you can actually save money by buying straight from the manufacturer. Waldrop buildings are guaranteed because Waldrop manufactures buildings with U.S. steel right here in Calhoun County. Waldrop Manufacturing, serving the entire Southeast. Give them a call today.
Well, very rarely do we hit the averages both for daytime highs and nighttime lows exactly. But that happened today here in East Alabama. Our average high, 90. Today's high, 90. Our average low, 70. This morning's low, 70 degrees. Our record high temperature back in 2007, once again, 104. Just 3 years earlier, back in 2004, it was 52. That's how much it can change here in East Alabama in just 3 years' time. Sun rising tomorrow at 6:06 and the sun setting tonight getting earlier at 7:30. Here is weather on your street now for a Wednesday night. Few clouds out there on Anniston Avenue in downtown Piedmont tonight. Up in northern Calhoun County, 71 for the low overnight tonight. Coming up on your Thursday on McAlpin Drive in Heflin, maybe an isolated shower tomorrow. Not quite as warm. 87 for the high tomorrow. We'll have a mix of clouds and sunshine. Chance of any one location, including in Heflin, seeing a shower tomorrow, about 1 in 5. As we look at the start of the weekend on Friday, rain chances bumping up a little bit. A few afternoon showers on Capco Drive and DeArmonville in Calhoun County. Mostly low 90s across the region and about a 1 in 3 chance of a shower or thunderstorm. Here's the 7-day forecast for all of East Alabama. We promised you that rain chances would increase a bit, and that is indeed the case. A 20% chance tomorrow, 30% on Friday. The best chance of a shower or thunderstorm coming on Saturday afternoon, about a 50-50 chance of rain. That's the highest rain chance we've had in quite a while here in East Alabama. Back to a 20% chance of a shower on Sunday, and then more dry weather ahead for the beginning of the week next week, as temperatures will be right back close to 90 degrees, maybe some upper 80s in there. Nighttime lows back down in the 60s for the back half of the weekend and the early part of next week. Well, yesterday we talked about rainfall. What was the potential for rainfall across the country, especially here in Alabama for the next couple of weeks? Let's take a look now at temperature, looking 8 to 14 days away. This will take us all the way through August 22nd through the 28th. And again, we're going to see temperatures that are going to be above the average, not by much, but a tad above the average. So really for the rest of the month of August, what we're looking at is temperatures a little bit above the average, rainfall a little bit below the average. That's what we've had so far in August, and that looks like that's going to continue. I'll be back here tomorrow morning, bright and early at 6 a.m. with your Thursday weather at a glance. Right back here tomorrow night for EAN Local News, as we'll detail the weekend forecast for all of East Alabama. Football season's coming fast. Big jamboree at White Plains coming up on Friday night. Continuing the preview of that jamboree is Namath Pitts in Sports right now. Namath.
Thanks, John. We continue previewing teams that are competing in the White Plains Jamboree this Friday night. That includes 6 teams. We're going to preview 2 more teams today that are in the Jamboree, and we're going to start with Jacksonville. Jacksonville will play in the Jamboree at 6:45 p.m. against Ohatchee, and then we'll play immediately after that at 7:40 p.m. against Piedmont. Jacksonville is entering year number 13 under head coach Clint Smith. The Golden Eagles went 10-3 last season and lost in the state quarterfinals to Montgomery Catholic. Jacksonville this year will be led by an experienced line behind Braden Ball and Drake Lee. Jacksonville is moving up to Class 5A and will play in 5A Region 6, which includes Center Point, Leeds, Lincoln, Moody, Springville, and St. Clair County. Jacksonville will unfortunately have to replace All-State quarterback Jim Ogles, who is now at Murray State. Outside of the Jamboree at White Plains this Friday, Jacksonville will kick off their season next Friday on the road at Etowah. Piedmont will be one of the 6 teams in action as well on Friday at the White Plains Jamboree, so let's take a deeper look at the Bulldogs. Piedmont will play in the Jamboree at 7:40 p.m. against Jacksonville, and then in the Jamboree at 8:35 p.m. against White Plains. Piedmont is entering year number 2 under head coach Jonathan Miller. The Bulldogs went 5-7 last season, lost in the second round of the state playoffs to Lauderdale County. Piedmont returns Cole Wilson at quarterback. Raleigh Pinto returns from injury and will be a threat for Piedmont on the perimeter. And Ishmael Bethel will also be a huge asset for Piedmont in terms of skills players. Piedmont will be in 3A Region 6, which is a 9-team region that includes Sachs, Ohatchee, Westbrook Christian, Walter Welborn, Locust Fork, J.B. Pennington, Weaver, and Glencoe. Piedmont is considered by many to be the region favorite in 3A Region 6. Outside of the Jamboree this week, Piedmont will kick their season off next Friday on the road at Cherokee County. The Weaver Bearcats will not be playing in the White Plains Jamboree, but they will be traveling this Friday to Jamboree 2 teams that are outside of the East Alabama area. Weaver will travel to Sylacauga this Friday to play B.B. Comer in Elmore County. Weaver is entering year number 2 under coach Ken Kofer. The Bearcats went 4-6 last season but did miss the playoffs. Weaver has not made the playoffs since Darrell Hamby retired. But for Weaver, they ended the season on a positive note by beating a 2A playoff team in Pleasant Valley. Weaver returns a veteran quarterback, arguably one of the best players in the region, in Caden Gooden. Keyshawn Allen will be the primary running back for Weaver, but will also play wide receiver. The Bearcats' defensive line is anchored by Dino. Weaver will also play in 3A Region 6, the 9-team region, which includes Piedmont, Westbrook Christian, Welborn, Ohatchee, Locust Fork, J.B. Pennington, Sachs, and Glencoe. Outside of their jamboree in Sylacauga this week, Weaver will kick their season off next Friday on the road at Oak Grove. That's it for EAN Local Sports. Let's go back over to Mike and Katie.
Thanks for the update, Namath, and thank you for watching today. You can find us every weeknight on Facebook and YouTube, our website, and now on Rumble.
Go to the platform of your choice and watch our news, sports, and weather coverage whenever it's convenient for you. We'll see you back here on Thursday for your news on your schedule.